I really enjoy these debates.
It's not really a debate today.
Sorry, say that again.
It's not really a debate today. It's just a list of lived experiences from people that have been through something similar.
And I appreciate that. And I have enormous respect for, I think it's Deborah and what she's been through. And I'm really sorry she's experienced that. And I do believe there are many different situations that can occur. However, just focusing on the Gavin Williamson one, I'm really upset that this has been swung straight in the direction of racism.
Well, even though we've said several times, I don't think this is an example of racism.
No, and I don't think it is, and that's kind of the point that I just wanted to make. I'm a 33-year-old white, normal, professional bloke.
I think we could have worked that out, Oliver. I did start the show by saying there's not really that much point asking white men whether or not the treatment of a black person is racist, is there?
Well, look, what I'd like to say is that I have done a if you were to take a pub quiz, for example, and there's often they'll give you an A4 sheet of paper with pictures of celebrities or pictures of anyone on, and you've got to guess their names. And I'll tell you now, I'm not into sport, I'm not into music, and if I saw a picture of Rebecca Adlington, I could quite easily guess that it was Ellie Goulding.
Yes.
And I just think that the poor man made a slip
But
up.
if you were Secretary of State for Education and you were asked whether you'd actually met a person who is at least as prominent for his campaigning in the field of school children as he is for his antics on a football pitch, I think even perhaps some people listening now would think that comparing that to a pub quiz is not probably something you'd do if the Secretary of State for Education had got, Gary Lineker mixed up with Tyson Fury, for example.
Absolutely, and I totally respect that. However,
but that's never going to happen, is it? He's never going to get Gary Lineker confused with Tyson Fury. Why do you think that is?
No, but my point is that any
Just answer
similar
the question, mate,
physical or personality trait, and that doesn't need to be race, that could be hair colour, it could be a tone of voice.
Yeah, well, Gary Lineker and Tyson Fury are the same colour.
Sorry?
Gary Lineker and Tyson Fury are the same colour.
But it could be anything.
So why would he never get them mixed up?
When they're put on the spot, and as you quite rightly said, I think it can happen to the best of us, and to immediately slip into, it's disgusting because it's racism. What it is disgusting.
You're the only one to use the word disgusting, mate.
Okay, I've used the word disgusting, but it's...
no one else has. And you said you were angry, and now you're using words that no one else has used to describe what you're angry about. I wonder what you're really angry about. Should we try and work it out?
It was a caller, and I can't remember. It's probably 3 or 4 callers
ago. Black people complaining about how they've been treated, maybe.
No, there was 3 or 4 callers ago. There was a gentleman who had quite a strong stance that he could only put it down to racism, specifically in relation to the Gavin Williamson.
No, specifically in relation to black people routinely being mixed up with each other.
Right, apologies. Or maybe I'm taking...
But why would that make you angry? Angry is an odd word to use.
No, it was a Gavin Williamson scenario specifically.
Why would you even get angry on his behalf?
It made me upset.
Okay.
It made me more upset because I just think that...
It's too much talk about racism.
Well, no, I respect the fact that racism does occur, and
Why upset then? Why upset today, do you think?
Because I think it's an unnecessary, quick... why are we even debating this? We're debating
because
it
of Deborah's grandson.
No, we're debating it because of the Gavin Williamson comment.
No. My decision to have this conversation is built upon the suspicion that it spoke of a much deeper and more important issue than one gaffe and slip by a legendarily appalling politician. That's why we're having this conversation. I'm really struck by the use of your vocabulary here, angry and upset, and I can't quite work out why that would be.
I just think that there are many cases where and apologies, maybe this isn't directly related to the topic that you brought the debate you raised a debate on, but I just think that there are so many cases where actually innocent things happen, slips of tongue or whatever, that actually
it's not though, is it? It's not an innocent slip of the tongue, is it? He's been asked whether he's met Marcus Rashford, and he said yes, because he thought that Maro Itoje was Marcus Rashford. That's not an innocent slip of the tongue. An innocent slip of the tongue would be me calling you John when your name is Oliver.
Yeah, but do you know what I think? So why would it be, apart from the fact, take out the fact that Marcus Rashford has had some great campaigns in relation
not
to...
when you're the Secretary of State for Education. You can't take that out of the conversation. That is what exacerbates and amplifies the error. The fact that the single most important campaigner in the context of school children that we've seen in this country probably since Jamie Oliver, and would he get Jamie Oliver mixed up with Gordon Ramsay? Not even Gordon Ramsay. He'd have to get Jamie Oliver mixed up with, I don't know, McPartlin for this to be a parallel.
I don't know. I think that's a bit extreme. But
how can that be extreme? If mixing up Marcus Rashford and Maro Itoje is just an innocent slip of the tongue, why would mixing up Jamie Oliver with McPartlin be extreme, Oliver?
As I said to you, James, I'm not for 1 minute saying that it's acceptable that he didn't know who Marcus Rashford was.
He does know who Marcus Rashford is.
He must do, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. So that's not what we're talking about either.
But in terms of making a slip-up, and then that slip-up being blamed on, being put down to racism, I just
mixing
think
up two black men. Mixing up two black men has been described as racism.
He could have equally mixed up two white men, as I bring right back.
But when I gave you an example of two white men, you said that was a bit extreme, as if that could never happen.
Well, I feel like you tried to choose, I don't know, two people where there was, Ant McPartlin and
go on, Jamie Oliver.
And Jamie Oliver. As I said to you right at the start,
two people that what?
I could quite easily mix up.
Hang on, I tried to choose two people that what? That don't look remotely similar.
Well, absolutely.
Well, go and have a look. Go and have a look at a picture of Maro and Marcus, and call me back.
Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying, or do you?
I understand exactly what you're saying, Oliver. I think it's you that doesn't.